Alright, so in this short video, I'm going to model how to complete the practical writing lab. That is how to pass your driver's test. You'll notice that the description is that today is your friend's big day. They've completed their behind the wheel hours and driven with their parents plenty. They are ready to take the driver's test. What advice do you have for them? Expectations. When you talk to them, be sure to acknowledge their nerves and be encouraging. Consider what you know about the process of the actual test, how long it is, and what you'll need to do. And finally, consider also what happens before you start to drive. What pre-check things do you need to know? Final notes, be sure to share it with me, written with the best grammar you know how, should be at least 100 words. And we want to make sure that you are using proper quotation use. Quotations, of course, go around things that people say. So we want to make sure that when we have some of that dialogue back and forth, that you're using quotations right. Additionally, use at least 4 different types of punctuation properly. And I feel like I should probably change this. We don't want nouns or pronouns. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. All right, and so over to the sample we go. First, of course, I want to list my name. Then I want to list who my teacher is, which is also me. What class I'm in, which is English. You can put 11 or 12, depending on, of course, what class you're in. And then the current date, which is the 13th of March, 2019. I want to go down 1, down 2. We want to write how to pass your driver's test. I want to center that. Return, center back. Tab in so that we know we're at the right spot. And I think I'll just get started. I think I'd begin with so here we are at the exam station. That would be a period. Before you start driving, the instructor. Oh, I'm not going to go that far. Before you start driving, because I want to do a bit of an intro. But by intro, I mean I want to list the 3 things that I'm going to talk about. Before you start driving, you should know these important things. First, comma, you'll need to know the controls on the steering column. It's not so much a steering column. On the, we'll just go with very basic, on the driver's side of the car. These include, and if you notice, here I am, I've used a comma properly, I've used a period properly, and I've used a colon properly. So I'm up to 3 at this point. It's not hard to get to 4. I think my goal, just cause I'm gonna try to use a dash. the controls on the driver's side of the car. These include the headlights, the turn signals, the hazards. I don't want to say that hazards. The hazards. And the heating controls. Here it is. Ready? Dash. Most importantly, comma, the defrost position. Because it's all about safety. Second, you'll need to be able to point out a few things under the hood. To be honest, I don't remember if this is true or not. Yeah, I just don't recall. But ideally, you should know how to check your oil, and I don't want to say and yet because that's usually before the third item in the list, and all I have is one item so far. Check your oil, add washer, maybe I'll put windshield washer fluid. Second item in the list there. We'll go to the third item here. And identify the coolant. Let's see. Finally, you'll be able to drive. The key information here is how to smog. Is smog still a thing? Question mark? I don't even know. Parallel park. And what directions to turn your wheels when parking on a hill. Now, if I'm going to do this in sort of 3 paragraphs, I think I've screwed up, and here's why. Because I say you should know these important things, and I say first, second, and finally. But then I go really in depth about into each of these when I feel like I might have been able to shorten my first paragraph, especially since I'm only required 100 words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to post it here and just wait a second on that. Get rid of that extra comma. Second, under the hood. This is the list of things that you should be able to to identify under the hood, but it doesn't necessarily need to go in my introduction, because my introduction is just sort of a broad view of what's going to happen, what I'm going to tell you about in the paper. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to post it there. And then finally, you'll be able to drive. And I think that's extra stuff as well. So here we are. This is like the key information within. First, you remember the driver's side. You'll need to know the controls on the driver's side of the car. Second, comma, point out a few things under the hood, and finally you'll be able to drive. Okay, so there's especially kind of for what we're doing here, a decent enough introduction. Now I need a transition. So I think I'll start here. Before you are allowed to put the car in drive, the instructor will sit with you in the parking lot and go through a few controls. Period. These include the things I listed there. Safety period. Then notice how this is a transitional phrase. I don't want to say he'll because we don't know for sure. Let me capitalize that. He or she will ask you to pop the hood. Ideally, you'd be able to do the things I listed there. After that, you'll be able to drive. The key information here is how to smog, parallel park, and what directions to turn your wheels when parking on a hill. Now, of course, if you wanted to expand on this, or maybe, in your paragraph, in your lesson to the person who you're teaching about the driver's test, maybe you want to go more in depth about what direction to turn your wheels when parking on a hill. That's an option as well. What does it mean to smog? What are the steps to a proper parallel park? For mine, I just wanted to list those three things. Although what I should do here is add that in, because that is the beginning of a new paragraph here. And I'll finish it this way. A final few words of encouragement. Trust your training and breathe. I'll do it this way. Can do it. Get rid of that. And of course, if you highlight this, go to Tools up in the top, word count. I am at 174, so I'm good to go. And finally, I have about 25 seconds left in my video here, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to highlight the whole thing, go up and double space it. Up in the upper right, hit share. Once this pops up, you'll type in Doimer. There it is. Send. And we are done. Thank you for watching. I hope that this kind of helps clarify.